Oh, shit. Okay. Welcome to Point of Two. No?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm ready now.
Okay. Welcome to Point of Two, where we share our point of view. I'm Caitlin Wonsowski, and I'm Caucasian.
And I'm Anagha Arla, and I'm Indian. On this episode, we're going to be talking about dating and boys and the different experiences we've had.
Let's get into it.
So, what were you allowed to date in high school?
Let's take it back. So, before high school, let's go elementary school. So, my parents, they didn't, I never had a boyfriend until, I use boyfriend really loosely. I had a boyfriend with quotations in 6th grade, and that was probably, my first boyfriend, if you will. Mm-hmm. Because before that, I didn't like anybody else. I never had, I was just, boys are gross and stuff.
I get that.
But, yeah, my parents didn't really care because, my dad was more protective, and, he didn't want me having a boyfriend even in middle school because that's just kind of how he was and stuff. But my mom didn't really care because I think she knew, how I kind of realize now that, it's kind of impossible to have a real relationship at that age. So it's kind of just, let her play pretend and, let her have a good life or whatever and think what she wants. Yeah.
No, I get that. Yeah. So personally, I wasn't allowed to date. I technically still am not able to date, which, I think that is the case for most Indians from my experience. Not that I can say so for other people, but that kind of that dating is forbidden, I think kind of just leads to children dating without telling their parents, which often does happen. And at that point, parents don't know. Parents assume, there is nothing going on, but the child knows that there is something going on, which I don't think it is wrong, but it is a hard line to go by. Last year, I had kind of a thing, if you will. And so at first I asked my parents, and they said no. And then I got very upset because I was I've done everything right. I've always been a good kid. This is the one thing, I'm asking for, and you're saying no. And so kind of went ahead and did it, and I felt bad the entire time because I was lying to my parents about it and not being necessarily a good kid, I guess. But it really messed with me for a while. It still does to this point. And so I just think that, when you're not allowed to date, it kind of just leads to kids dating, just not communicating with the parents, which, understandable because I don't think dating is wrong, but it's just a weird fine line.
Yeah. Have you had any past relationships? Actual relationships?
I don't know, because what I had last year, I don't consider it a relationship because there was no meeting the parents, and there was no, genuinely accepting that there's a label. This person has a label. This person means something to me in my life, which the person did mean something to me, but it wasn't accepted, so it was never plausibly real. So I don't think so. Yeah, no. What about you?
Well, I had several... I use this word, very, seriously, I was, 10. I had lots of relationships with, week-long relationships in junior high when I was, 11 to 13. Because I was just, I went to a new school because I was supposed to go to Kingsley, and I ended up going to Chittix.
Oh.
So I was just, meeting new people, and then... I don't know, I guess I was cute. So some people had never seen me, and when you never seen someone before, kind of at first a lot, because you're whoa, new sights to see. It's not the same person I've gone to school with for the past 7 years, So I think that people were also just kind of growing up and experiencing, like, the hormones of teenagers, and, like, they were learning what attraction was. And instead of just, like, playing with your friends, you were, like, having more complex feelings for everything around you, including, you know, seeing your parents being married. You're like, well, I want to have a relationship. Blah, blah, blah. Like, you kind of want to follow after that. So it wasn't ever real, like, you know, a couple holding hands in the halls or a hug before class, but it was nothing emotionally connected. It was just kind of there for no reason.
No, I understand that. I get that. I mean, I didn't have relationships, but, you know, crushes, we had a lot of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Any current?
No, I mean, the only relationship I'm in is with my grades. So,
That's
I
good,
got nothing.
though. You gotta stay focused. Yeah, I'm currently dating somebody. It's kind of like my first real boyfriend, because I also had dated, and again, I use that loosely. Freshman year, I dated somebody, but we were 14 and 15, and we couldn't drive. We couldn't do anything without our parents' schedules and approval.
Yeah.
And obviously, I still respect my parents' approval, but, like, I have my own car. They don't need to drive me from here and there to get...
It's a little more independent, yeah.
Which is, like, you can't have that. Like, if you have a relationship, you have to rely on, like, your own time. Like, you're making this your life, your relationship, your time. So, this is kind of my first, like, real relationship. So it's pretty exciting. But, you know, you just kind of hope for the best. And
I hope it goes well for you.
Thank you.
So I guess, I mean, we kind of touched on marriage earlier. You were talking about how, like, seeing your parents' marriage kind of, like, thrust kids into, like, wanting to be in a relationship. So what are you, like, I guess, how did marriage inspire you?
Well, actually, my parents' marriage, like, my real parents' marriage was, like, incredibly corrupt and not good. For all I knew of it, really, there were certain good parts, but in general, like, you grow up, especially I grew up Catholic, you grow up, like, you're gonna get married, and, like, that's it. Like, you can have boyfriends, but, like, you're gonna get married before, like, anything.
Like, the end goal is...
Right, like, that's, like, kind of, like, the church was built upon marriage, you know? Like, that's kind of how it feels. And as a kid, that's all I understood. Like, you don't understand verses of the Bible when you're, like, 14 years old. You understand that people get married in this building. That's cool. Yeah. Like, you kind of look up to, like, that being your life. So, yeah, but, like, tradition, anyways, in marriage. My tradition in marriage, like, I don't think it really matters. Like, my parents don't have a specific setup for me. To be getting married. Like, they don't need me to be in a church. They don't want me to be, like, they don't really care, because it's not, like, a huge part of our lives.
It's like one night kind of thing.
Yeah. And I don't know, I don't think that they have a specific look at what I should be doing, and I kind of have my own freedom in that. And they also don't even care if I don't get married. Like, they don't, you know, like, they want to have, like, grandkids and all that, but, like, you know, it's up not, to you. It's up to me. Yeah, exactly. So, how about you?
So I think just earlier I said it's like a one night kind of thing. I meant that about weddings, not about marriage. But with marriage, I don't think my parents necessarily have a certain way, but I know it's difficult, I think, from, like, coming, like, from a country where, like, everything's familiar to you, coming to a whole new country where it's really not familiar at all. And so I think it's, when the time comes, it's going to be probably it's going to take a lot of communication to find a good balance between being culturally appropriate, which I want to be because I love my culture, but also being able to fit me into it where it's not, where I don't feel alienated, because most of my childhood I was told, you know, don't hang out with guys. That is not acceptable kind of thing. You don't do that. Or like you're deemed as a slut or a whore, so you only hung out with girls. And so that will continue to affect me throughout my life because I will never be able to truly get rid of that because I heard it so much as a child. But I'm slowly getting better at it, being able to like say what is not acceptable and what is acceptable. But with marriage, I don't think my parents have a specific kind, and that's like a future conversation we need to have. But I think before anything, my mom wants me to be able to stand on my own, be able to earn on my own, be able to live by myself, do my grocery shopping, do my laundry, and be successful at that. And then after that comes adding someone else into your life. Adding someone into your life. So then what about like friendships with boys? Like how has that been in your experience?
Well, as I was growing up, I had only girlfriends really. But as I got older and kind of figured out what type of things I like in people, I had like only guy friends for a long period of time because lots of the girls are mean and I wasn't into the same things that they were into. And my mom, she never cared. That doesn't matter to her. But yeah, I just think I connected better with boys, especially at a younger, sorry, I'm cutting that out. I think I connected better with boys, like now even, because I think that lots of the girls that I know of, they don't really like people like me, and I don't think I fit into what they like to do and stuff, so yeah, I like more to be like just laid back and kind of go with the flow.
No, I understand that. Yeah, I get that. I mean, me too, though. From a young age, I also really only had girlfriends. Like, hanging out with a boy was bad, or so to speak. That's what, like, I'd been always told or whatever. But as I got older, I realized, like, hey, what I was told was not right. Like, hanging out with a guy is not wrong. It's not bad. It's normal, The only difference technically is biologically. Like, you can still connect with someone emotionally without physically doing anything with them. So then I kind of realized that as I grew up and grew older. And so I had more friends who were guys. And so I never was able to hang out with them as much as I would have, or like in general hang out with them as I did with my girlfriends, but I was allowed to have them as friends, but anything more than friends was also definitely off limits. But I think to this day I have a lot of friends who were guys, but I mean, I guess a lot is a very loose definition because I only have like maybe 5 people I really actually talk to, and in those 5 people there's like 1 person or 2 people that I'm go to for anything and everything, or for like advice kind of. So it's a fine balance. It just depends on like connecting with them and finding like someone who I can actually trust and like be friends with.
Yeah. Are you allowed to have boys like over at your house?
So oh god, we gotta cut that out.
Alright, let me re-ask that.
Yeah.
So are you allowed to have like boys over at your house?
Technically, when I was younger at least, it was like my mom daycared kids for a little while, or like I'd go to daycare, so it didn't matter because it was just at our friend's house, but there were guys there, so that was kind of just normal. But then, middle school, like when you're going through puberty, kind of getting older, I was definitely not allowed to have boys at my house unless it was like their family friends and we're having a potluck or something like that. But recently I've gotten a little bit better with that, I guess, in that sense, but I'm allowed to have guys over sort of, at least. And so one of my friends, who's a guy, was able to come over the other day because I was helping him with something, so that was okay. But if it's a guy that I had something more to do with, it would not be okay. And it's happened once before, but did not go well, so it's a no.
Yeah.
What about you?
My parents don't care. There's no, there's nothing different between having a guy over and a girl over to them, really. Because, well, unless I like them, and I'll tell them, too, because I'm very honest with my parents. So, like, if I was just friends with them, they wouldn't care. You know, I could have the door closed. I could do whatever I want, basically. And that's just kind of how it's always been. And they're so used to, like, because I went through a period where I had, like, no girlfriends. I had, like, one girlfriend from, like, where I dance at that we've always been friends, but, like, literally, like, no school girlfriends whatsoever because I just was, like, so done with drama and stuff. But yeah, like, I had a period of time where, like, all my friends were guys, and just, like, a bunch of different people would be over.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
And we would just, like, play video games. Like, and that's just, like, what it was. But, yeah, they never cared about that.
I see that. I think that's maybe how I'll be when I grow up. I don't know. We still have to figure that out. But, like, you said, like, you wouldn't have to close the door if you had friends who were just strictly friends. But what... like, are there rules with when a guy that you like comes over? Like, door has to be yada inches open or, like, anything like that?
I think my parents trust me enough that they don't really care about that stuff. I usually leave it open because out of respect for them. And, like, they didn't make a rule, but, like, just out of respect. And they usually have to, like, leave by, like, 10. Or, like, my other friends, they probably would leave around the same time, but my parents would be less caring about it because they're going to bed. Therefore, like, they know, well, they're just friends, so nothing would happen, you know? So, yeah, it's just a little bit different with, like, timing, but pretty much similar in ways. Although, I've actually found that, like, my parents are more open to me going out and stuff when I have a boyfriend, which is really weird. I expected it to be the opposite. But, like, when I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go to his house and eat dinner, they're like, okay. Like, they don't care. And not like they really did that much before. But it's almost like they're, like, excited for me. So, yeah. I don't know.
So, like, you previously mentioned that you had a brother. So was it, I mean... do you think it's different with, like, your brother? If it's, like, did he get more freedom, or so to speak, or, like...
No, my brother, he's 20, and when he lived in the house, he was basically working, similar to me. Like, we're kind of always out. Like, we're never really home because we're always working or doing something else, and he didn't really have a serious relationship until he, like, moved out of the house.
Oh, okay.
So, obviously, he's under his own terms and under his own rules. So, yeah, it was never anything like that for him.
Homecoming dates. So, with homecoming literally tomorrow? Yeah, no. Oh, my God. With homecoming 2 days away, how do, like, homecoming dates and, like, prom dates and that work around your house?
Well, my mom gets excited around homecoming because, I dress like a boy. Like, seriously, I wear very bummy clothing. Just, like, sweatpants and t-shirt every day, or shorts, and, like, it's the same outfit every day, just different combinations of it. So, my mom gets pretty excited to see that she does have a daughter. But, no, she likes to take pictures, and she likes to figure out all the information, but, you know, I think it's just one of those, it's kind of one of those things where I think even, like, if I ever have kids, like, it's gonna be, like, a moment where you're like, look at how dolled up you got for this stupid school dance, but it's, like, gonna make an impact on you for the rest of your life. So, yeah, I think that she just gets really excited about it.
Aww.
But, yeah, have you ever, had, like, an actual date to the homecoming, or has it been just, like, girls, or...
So with, like, the whole, like, so-called relationship I had last year, again, don't know if that's what it was, whatever, but, we didn't necessarily go to the dance together, but we met up at it. Mm-hmm. So I had dinner with my friends. I'm not sure where he had dinner, but then, like, me and my friends drove together to the dance, and then, so we met there. So I don't know if that constitutes as a date or not, but other than that, no, I mean, like, I'll see my guy friends at the dance, I'll be like, oh, we should take a picture, because we're all, like, dressed up and look nice. Like, other days we kind of just look like crap all the time, so, like, this is something I can, like, put up on my wall, or, like, you know, have a screensaver as, or something like that. So I'll say hi to my friends, I'll, like, hang out with them, just, like, joke around with them, probably at the dance, maybe, like, just go sit outside and talk for a little while. But other than that, no, not dates, I don't think so. I mainly just go with my girlfriends. Like, that's what I did freshman year, sophomore year, basically junior year, because we didn't really take pictures either, and then that's what I'm doing this year too. What about you?
Freshman year, I went with, like, my friend, girl, but she had a boyfriend, and her boyfriend had a friend, so, like, I went with him, like, so we didn't have any third wheeling happening, but we were just, like, friends, just hanging out. I mean, that was fun, but I've never had an actual, like, date that was, like, someone more than a friend until now. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. But sophomore year, I went with just a bunch of friends, all girls. Don't know if we went with any guys, actually. And I didn't go junior year to homecoming. So yeah, it's my first time, like, having a real date, which is pretty exciting. But, you know,
I'm excited for you. So, like, with the having a real date, I mean, it's completely cool if you guys haven't talked about it, but, like, are corsages a thing? Like, do we know what?
Yeah, well, even for prom, I got corsages. Like, I've actually got corsages every time I went with, like, freshman year. I went with, I went to 2 homecomings. I went to U Highs and ours, so I got corsages both times freshman year, and sophomore year I didn't wear a corsage because I didn't go with anybody. And then prom, I got one with just my friend. I think it's, like, kind of traditional that unless you guys, like, last minute threw it together, the guy usually buys you one, just even if you're just friends. That's how it's been for me, at least. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get those. I don't really know. Everything's been very last minute.
No, I understand that. I feel that in my soul. So I guess in regards to dating and stuff, so with cultural differences, how does, like, I guess, I mean, monogamy is obviously very accepted in all cultures, basically, but how does, like, I don't even know how to say it, polygamy?
Oh, polygamy.
So how does, like, relationships with more than just 2 people go?
Polyamorous? Okay.
I can't say it.
Polyamorous relationships.
Yeah, so, like, how does that go over in, like, the 2 different cultures, I guess?
Well, I mean, that's cool if you have a polyamorous relationship. Like, that's fine. Like, you know, if that's what you and your partner are into, then go ahead. I just don't think I could do that because of the way I grown up and stuff. Having multiple people have feelings actually was really detrimental to my childhood. But I don't judge people that if both ends of the relationship are okay with that, then that's perfectly normal and that's cool. Like, go ahead. I could never do that. I think I need someone to be mine and I need to be someone's, you know?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that. Like, I mean, I'm totally open for people, like, do what makes you happy, you know, as long as you're not hurting anyone or, like, negatively impacting anything, do what you want in reasonable, like, manner, but, like, it's not my job to, like, say, oh, you cannot date 2 people. You're allowed to do what you want to do. And so that's my personal take on it, but I think as you go up higher in the generations, especially in Indian culture, people wouldn't be as, I guess, open to it. But then the funniest part about all of that is that in, like, the really olden days when they had, like, kings and stuff, kings often had multiple wives. So it wasn't a polyamorous relationship, but they had multiple wives who had multiple kids or a kid. And so I just think it's really interesting how one man could have had multiple wives, but then all of a sudden a polyamorous relationship wouldn't necessarily be accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that was really interesting when I, like, thought back about it. And I think that has to do with the whole, like, valuing women were, like, lower than men, especially in that time period. Because, like, you know, men's were the king. Even then, like, as a queen, a woman didn't necessarily have much power. I mean, there were the exceptions, but, like...
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily the norm.
Yeah, but at the same time, I do believe you can have multiple loves in your life. I feel like you can be in love with different people at different times, or maybe at the same time. But I
think it's a really open topic, almost, in a sense.
Yeah, I think I'd say I'm an open book. I see it I can see every angle of it.
Yeah,
and I'm down for whatever people. Like, I'm accepting of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that I could do it.
Yeah, same.
But, yeah.
And, like, I think that goes with, like, the LGBTQ plus community as well. Like, I accept it. You guys do what's right for you, you know? I'm not there to say anything. I don't have any right to say anything. But I personally wouldn't be able to be in a relationship with another woman just because that's not who I'm attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, you know... If it makes you happy, do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I am 100% in full support of the LGBTQ community because, like, my mom's best friends, but I call them my aunts because they're so close. They're lesbians and they're married, and, like, lots of people in my life, you know, they are part of that community, and I think love is love.
Yeah.
And if you love somebody for who they are, it doesn't matter what gender or whatever sexuality they are, like, you should just love that person. I mean, that being said, I'm not attracted to women, and I couldn't understand that because I don't have that. Yeah. But I understand, like, I love people, and I'm very respectful towards what they decided to do because, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Happiness over anything, and if it makes them happy, it makes me happy.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, especially, I guess, going on, like, a larger scale over here, in just, like, in Western culture, I think it's been accepted for a little bit longer than it has been in Indian culture, because I think just a couple months ago, India, like, finally, like, took away a law that said, like, lesbian sex or two gay people having sex was, like, what is the word? It was, like, it could be punishable and it wasn't, like, right, and they had, like, a law against that, but they just took that law away, and the best part about it is the lawyers, I think, that worked on it, there were two women who were married to each other, and right after the, like, law went through, they came out as lesbian, and they, like, told the world about their love, and like, I'm a romantic at heart, so, like, it really got me, and I was
sweet.
Like, it was really nice, but I think in that terms, the Indian community is still learning to accept people. I mean, from history classes, I've learned that it's been LGBTQ community, although maybe not called that in the past, has always been a thing. Like, even in, like, higher, like, cultural, I guess, so to call priests in my culture, I guess, the equivalent of that, but I don't think it ever spread down to the more, like, everyday people, like, hey, this is normal. They're allowed to love people, and they're allowed to see things differently, like, that's okay. And so I think we're getting there, but definitely work has to be made in both aspects, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, we're doing a wrap up now.
Yeah, I think so.
How do we finish it?
So I guess we could just say something like, so these are, like, our experiences with, like...
How do we finish the last one?
I think that's what we did. Like, we did a little summary thingamabob. And we were like, so these are our, like, experiences with, like, schooling, and this is what happened in our school, or yada. So, yeah, I think that, and then, like, you have the part, like, we'll hope to see you next time on the next episode, point 2. Okay. Me or you?
I'll start by just saying, like, yeah. Alright, ready? Mm-hmm. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's true. I agree with everything. I just think that relationships and being a teenager, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that we're just all over the place. But
oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's interesting to talk about because my family's kind of very chill about stuff like that, and your family is so not. But yeah.
No, yeah, I get that, and I think the way you said that earlier, relationships and, like, teenagers, we're all over the place, and I think relationships are personal for a reason. So you should, an outsider should not have to say anything about your relationship, because it's your relationship.
Exactly.
But, so I guess that's how my experiences have been in with, like, dating and boys and just, like, marriage and, like, all of that. Yeah. That whole umbrella, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this episode of Point of 2, where we share a point of view, and we'll hope to catch you on the next one.
Bye?
Is that good enough?
Yeah. I just don't know.